Hey Internet, Harris here. So 2020 is here and GoodNotes and Notability are still the top two note-taking applications for the iPad. A lot of people will comment and say that OneNote deserves to be in here. A note-taking application with an infinite canvas such as OneNote does not deserve to be in this competition with two apps that try to emulate pieces of paper, in my opinion. So we're focusing on Notability and GoodNotes for 2020. I believe both software versions are Notability 9.2, which is pretty recent, and GoodNotes 5.3. 2020 comparison brought to you by Paperlike 2, the screen protector that not only makes writing on your iPad so much better with your Apple Pencil, it adds texture, it adds friction, makes it feel a lot more like writing on paper, but it also gets rid of those disgusting fingerprints that I know you just draw right through with your Apple Pencil. So get a Paperlike 2 screen protector to get rid of the glare, get rid of the fingerprints, and add some great texture and clarity to your screen on the iPad. I'll leave a link down in the description if you want to check that out. So here are the things that are pretty much the same now between Notability and GoodNotes, things you can get on both. So Notability 9.2 now allows for the eraser to go underneath the text. This was a very annoying feature of Notability before, where it would just darken the text with layer after layer. Now on both GoodNotes and Notability, your highlighter will go underneath the text. That's great. Secondly, Notability added the ability to import files and documents and PDFs and things of that sort from within the Notability application before you'd have to share it into Notability. Now you can bring those straight in from the files browsing on the Notability application, and of course you can do that and have been able to do that with GoodNotes. Both have OCR document scanning, so same as the Notes application on your Apple devices. This has a scanner so you can scan documents right into both of these applications, which is great if you want to add your own documents. Both support dark mode and they have different themes, although Notability does have more themes. They both support light and dark mode that can be automatic as well. And then finally, both have partial or whole erase options, so you can erase an entire stroke or just the section that your pencil goes over. So those are both great features to have, and both of these apps support that. So the remaining big differences, number one, this is the biggest thing that keeps you on Notability, is voice recording. So as you record your lecture or whatever you're doing, Notability, you can tap the little microphone button up top and it will record the audio. Not only that, but it will play back the audio and scrub through your text as you wrote it down in the application after the fact. So if you want to go through and listen to what was being recorded at that time, it'll also replay and retrace your handwriting, which is amazing. You can also, and I just figured this out, you can tap on a word in your document and it'll take the audio recording to that exact point. That's really, really cool. Now it records in 20-minute increments. You can go in up to 20-minute increments. It'll start a new voice recording at 20 minutes and you can go through and find the individual voice recordings there. If GoodNotes had that, I would probably be on GoodNotes, but they don't. Notability has that and it's great for school, just as long as you get your professor's permission to record audio in class. Second big difference, GoodNotes has much better template options. They have a full range of templates from music to Cornell notes to A3 and A4 and really whatever you would need, and calendar options like that, and you can find more online and import those as well. Now, Notability just has their default ones. You've got like the dotted paper, the grid paper, and the lined paper pretty much, as well as some different colors. But you can technically import PDFs and duplicate those pages over and over to use that as a template. That's a bit of a backdoor approach. It works, but it's just not as good, and one template has to be on the entire document, so you can't do it on page-by-page basis unless you do the PDF route. So GoodNotes has a definite advantage there. And then GoodNotes also has the advantage in the file system. So your home screen is like a traditional file browser on GoodNotes. You've got folders and subfolders and really infinite subfolders, so you can organize as you please, and you can have notebooks and all types of media in there. On Notability, you have the left-hand column, and that has basically all of your dividers and subdividers, but that's as far as it goes. You have like your subjects and then your documents, and when you click on that, you can have a list of different documents inside of there, as many as you want, but you can't go like subfolders. You can't have individual images and different file types on their own. They have to be within a document. So GoodNotes definitely has a big advantage there. Both of them work well and you can still achieve pretty much the same thing, but I do know that some people really swear by GoodNotes file system and organization, And for a lot of people, that is going to be a big difference. All right, so other differences. Indexing and searching. So both of these applications have indexing and searching, and that includes handwriting, that includes going through and finding text. But GoodNotes does do a little bit better job with this. It'll give you different categories of things that it finds in the search results. So if I search sign, looking for like a mathematics sign from calculus, it'll give me handwritten notes. It'll give me all of those. It'll give me the typed notes. It'll give me PDFs. Whereas on Notability, it'll just give me a full list. So they both have search, but GoodNotes does a little bit better job of defining and categorizing the search results. GoodNotes has a favorites bar in the menu bar for both just the standard ink option as well as the highlighter option. So you can have 3 different colors there that you can quickly go to, and this allows for just quicker changes when you're modifying and editing a document with different colors. Notability doesn't have this, but of course they still have a color palette. It just was one extra click to change the color. You can't have favorites, and you can't have quick changing of the thickness of your highlighter or your regular pen. So that's just one convenience feature of the menu bar on GoodNotes, and I would like Notability to add just those quick favorite toggles and to have different pen strokes just saved as defaults. There's also an obvious difference in just the UI. Notability, I think, is much cleaner, it's simpler, and there's just less to it. You get more just real estate for using your writing. Whereas GoodNotes has a little bit more clutter, just more features, more elements. You can hide things, like you can hide the menu bar and the status bar. I do that. You can also go into different viewing modes, but ultimately Notability is noticeably cleaner and simpler. If you want to just hop in and get going, you can. GoodNotes is just a little bit more cluttered. It does indeed have more features, but it ultimately does feel a little bit more congested than Notability. Now, both of these applications now support side-by-side, so you can have 2 documents side-by-side. Notability had this first, and you can have 2 documents side-by-side, but GoodNotes actually has the advantage because not only can you just do side-by-side, but you're basically opening up 2 different GoodNotes applications side-by-side. So you can have 2 of the same documents side-by-side, so you can be on different pages of that document. You can't do that on Notability, but you definitely can on GoodNotes. So GoodNotes has the advantage, but otherwise they both have side-by-side now, which is awesome. So shapes. Now, I've seen on the internet a lot of people like GoodNotes shapes better. There's a dedicated shape button, and when you go into that, everything will turn into a shape. I personally like Notability's shapes better because it has an auto shape feature, so you kind of just drag out the shape and you hold it, and it gives you that shape, and then you can adjust the angles, and you can make it disproportionate adjustments. So if you draw a triangle, you can make it a different type of triangle instead of just doing a proportionate increase size. And Notability also allows you to change the border and the fill color much easier than GoodNotes, but GoodNotes does have a dedicated shapes button. I just don't like that as much as Notability, so I would prefer Notability in terms of shapes, and it even includes just an automatic straight line. So if I draw a straight line out with the pen tool, it'll make a straight line, which is great for making graphs and underlining titles. Notability only has that with your highlighter, do a straight line. So a lot of people on the internet I've seen do like GoodNotes' dedicated button for doing shapes. I personally like Notability's system of automatic shapes better. Now, both have page overviews, so you can like see the outline of your document and like all the pages in it. However, GoodNotes does it in a grid fashion, so you get to see a little bit more than Notability, which just has a list off to the side. And they both have like a favorites or a bookmarked section. But GoodNotes also allows you to do an outline, so similar on like Google Docs, how you can have like an outline of important sections and subheadings. You can add things to the outline on GoodNotes so you can organize your document much better and more easily. So Notability has 2 resize options. They have like a circular freehand one, and they also have a rectangular one. So it gives you 2 options. So I prefer this because it's better than just the one option on GoodNotes. Notability also allows you to instantly resize and rotate, whereas on GoodNotes you have to go into the resize option. That's 2 steps. It's just quicker, more convenient on Notability. So that's why I definitely prefer Notability in terms of resizing and the 2 options that you get for the selection tool. GoodNotes does allow for auto deselect for the eraser, as well as erasing only the highlighter, which is an option that Notability just doesn't have, and I do like that, but I don't use it much. But you could, so if you're erasing something, it'll automatically go back to the pen tool, which is convenient, but like I said, not something I found myself using very often. Now, GoodNotes allows you to scroll vertically or horizontally, so you can do like a traditional notebook, and you've got like side by side, or you can scroll up and down, whereas Notability only has up and down. That's fine though, I think it has better continuity, and just works better for quickly scrolling and kind of having that infinity scroll aspect. Now, GoodNotes has separated distinct pages, whereas Notability is essentially one working document, and you can bleed from one edge to the next edge. However, when you go into the outline view, it still does have that distinction as a different document. But it is interesting. It does change how you work and how you write. And finally, GoodNotes has a presenter option, which is kind of cool. You can cast this onto a display or whatever, and there's a couple of different pointer options with like the tail or just the dot. So that's cool if you might ever present something. You can do that from GoodNotes, and that's actually something that just Notability doesn't have. So at the end of the day, I think there's some small things that Notability has better. It's a little bit cleaner and simpler. I like the select options better. And obviously it has the voice recording, which is really cool as a student. GoodNotes has the advantages of a lot more templates and more native templates, which is really nice. Better organization and searching and the outline option, and just a few more tweaks and settings that you can change, such as a page direction and highlighter options and things like that. But there's still both really great applications. Of course, I think the prices have changed between these from when I initially started making these videos. I believe Notability has gotten more expensive, and they both have Mac apps, but they don't work for Android or any other applications, unfortunately. But you can back these up to Google, so you can still open them on different devices. You just can't really edit them. So they're both great applications. Let me know which one is your favorite. Leave any comments or questions down in the comment section below, and make sure to check out Paperlike. Thanks for watching.